Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. First I wanted to let you guys know I think I decided on Crusher's Circle for the name of my YouTube channel. Somebody mentioned it. It wasn't even one of the choices I think I mentioned, but I really like the idea of Crusher's Circle. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different things on my channel, and circle just makes a lot of sense with the wheels. But today I wanted to talk about my experience with with all the different pedals I've tried the last week, and also the progress on my seat. So the wheel comes with a pair of stock pedals, of course, the Inmotion stock pedals, and they are the least grippy of the ones I have tried. There is an option to just drill holes into the stock pedals, and you can put in whatever aggressive screws that you want. You can do something a little less aggressive like the nuts and the bolts, or you can do something really aggressive like just drilling screws straight into the pedals. So here's the stock pedals that come with it. You can kind of see I've taken a couple of close calls right there. Hopefully that was probably my fall on the Friday night ride where I caught that pedal clip, and man, that shit threw me to the ground. That was 3 weeks ago and I'm still nursing those ribs. I was hoping I bruised it, but 3 weeks and no improvement in pain sounds quite a bit like a crack to me. So, but that's part of riding. Could have been worse. So that's what I have on here now, are just like the stock pedals again, because I had also put on the Chris Chaput pedals, and these pedals here are the most aggressive pedals that I tried. You can see that the screws are almost like cone shaped. They're about 4 times thicker than the Merlin Fish spiked pedals. The Chris Chaput ones, while they're absolutely amazing pedals, I would want to either have a smaller screw put in here, and I wonder if I could just do that myself, but I think that the holes are already too big. I should shoot Chris a text or an email and ask him if I can put different screws in this pedal, because I'll tell you what, the grip tape on here is phenomenal, and honestly I prefer the stock pedals, not just the plates but the pedals, to the ones like the honeycomb. The other pair of pedals I bought were the Inmotion honeycomb pedals for the V12, and they were the most expensive at $120, and they were my least favorite. And the reason being is I loved the lightweight feeling of it. There's definitely it's definitely going to save you from foot fatigue. But the Inmotion pedals, the honeycomb pedals, they didn't have enough grip. I would need to change the screws out, which you can do. But the thing that really got me about the honeycomb pedals is that there was no engineering or thought put behind those honeycomb pedals at all. Somebody was like, I'm gonna make some honeycomb pedals so we can like charge $120 for them, and they didn't take a minute to think about what the rider might like. An example of this is that on the bottom of the honeycomb pedals, there's just a straight up 90-degree angle. They didn't, like, even on the stock pedals, they have like a little curvature to it, so you don't catch a pedal clip. It's almost like the honeycomb Inmotion V11 pedals are intentionally trying to pedal clip you. They're at least twice as thick as the stock pedals. Like, the honeycomb pedals are unnecessarily thick, and they're made out of a heavy metal. There's no reason for them to be twice as thick as the stock pedals. It's just ridiculous. You're just losing height, which is bad for trail riding. And the 90, as soon as I looked at the bottom of the pedal and I saw that there was just like a 90-degree angle to that pedal. There was no curvature at all, like no engineering thought at all. They were like, what might a rider like in a pedal? Well, I'll tell you what, it's not a 90-degree sharp thick bottom, because that is going to pedal clip all over the place. So I sold the honeycomb pedals, and actually they sold so fast I don't have them to show you today. But the honeycombs were the most expensive and my least favorite. I hope that there's somebody out there coming up with a honeycomb pedal that's that has a little bit of effort put into it. And I'll tell you what, it wouldn't have taken much effort to do like a beveled edge around the bottom of that honeycomb pedal, and like, you know, take that like really thick pedal and like, I mean, honestly, make it a third as thick. Why is it that thick at all? It just makes no sense to me. So I was eager to get the honeycomb pedals off my wheel and go back to the plates, and the Chaput plates. It's not like a whole pedal. Like the honeycomb pedals, I took off the entire pedal. Like there's a set screw underneath here, and you unscrew it. And then the one thing I did like about the honeycomb pedals is that they had some set screws on the side to like screw in the pedal, which the stock pedals don't have. So I will give the honeycomb pedals credit on including two like set screws on the side, as opposed to just like tapping in the rod, you know, like the stock pedals. So I will give you that on the honeycomb pedals. They did have the set screws on the sides, not just the bottom. But the Merlin Fish pedals are just plates as well. They go into the stock plates. So the Chaput and the Merlin Fish pedals are actually just plates. They like sit inside of the pedal itself, where the honeycomb pedals were the pedals and the plates included. It was like one piece. So with the Merlin Fish and the Chaput pedals, you like, you know, you take off this grip tape and you unscrew the plates and you just like stick it back in there and you screw it back. But with the honeycomb pedals and plates, you remove this entire thing, and you screw it back in. And like I said, the Inmotion honeycomb pedals do have the set screws on the side, which is nice. But out of all of the pedals, the ones I like best are the ones that I originally had on my 16X, and that's the Merlin Fish pedals. And the reason for that is they're a little less aggressive than the Chaput pedals. And these are probably, the Chaput pedals are probably the most well-made, but for my application where, you know, I ride my wheel every day. I have pretty close to 800 miles on my wheel now, and that's about how many, you need around 1,000 miles to really start to get to know a wheel. And during the process of me fussing so hard over my accessories, my pedals and my seat, the other day I noticed that, holy shit, I am actually just really in tune with this wheel now. I can comfortably go 35 miles an hour. I'm getting comfortable with the feel and the weight of it. Like finally just now, after owning this wheel for I think like 3 weeks, am I getting comfortable with the weight of it. And again, I'm coming from a 16X and an S18. I sold my S18 and like went back to the 16X, and getting on this V12 at first it was a little much, but now I just like, I don't know if I could go back to a 16X or an 84 volt wheel in general. But anyways, for the pedals, the like I said, the Chaput are the most well made, but they're for like people like that Chance kid who's like always doing off-road and like, you know, he only does off-road. For me, you know, I want to be able to jump on my wheel with like non-riding shoes. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about, riding shoes. If I'm riding with my 510s, These are mountain biker shoes, I think, and these guys have a sole. It's like really rubbery and thick. And when I'm wearing my 510s, the Chris Chaput pedals are awesome. Like the rubber just like, it grips you so tight onto these. But if I'm like running over to my friend's house, or, oh, I just want to do some DoorDash for an hour or two, I kind of just want to throw on my Danner boots, you know? And I've noticed that when I throw on my more casual riding shoes, the Chris Chaput pedals are just too aggressive. So while these are the highest quality pedals, I think that for my application, I would prefer the Merlin Fish pedals just because they're a little less aggressive. And again, the Inmotion honeycomb pedals, like you gotta put some effort into them, man. You can't just call them honeycombs and expect riders not to notice you have like a thick pedal with a 90-degree corner at the bottom. Like, come on, guys, put some thought into that, really. Okay, now the seat. I was like talking with Marty about, you know, doing the shock seat with the bike mount on it, or with a shock seat with a bike on it, or a shock mount with a bike seat on top. And I found a bike seat that I liked quite a bit, but it was for like an upright riding position. And I found with the shock, it angled the bike seat wrong. The shock, where I thought it would help my knees, just kind of made my ride feel too bouncy. And I like to feel pretty locked in when I'm riding. I don't like a lot of that give. I thought it was gonna feel a little bit like a suspension wheel. You know, and I own the S18 and I've ridden the V11, and it wasn't a nice suspension feeling. It was a bouncy, like I don't have control feeling. So I took the seat off altogether, and I am like just scratching that shock absorber with the bike seat. And I'm going to what everybody does around here, and I guess that's why everybody does it around here, is the yoga block method. I am hoping to be able to attach the yoga block to my seat in some fashion where I just kind of cut around the handle and stick this yoga block on. And I need to find a way to kind of attach the yoga block to the handle. There's a couple of guys up in the Seattle crew that are known for doing the yoga block seats. I'll probably contact like, Frank Wong, or, you know, one of those guys up there, and ask them if there's a way to make the yoga block like attached to the seat more than just like fitting it on. You know, like a zip tie situation, or some kind of way to like lock down the mat onto the handle. I did try the EXN seat for the V12, and honestly it fits on there pretty good. I would give it like a 90% fit rate. But again, I'm in a situation where I'm trying to sit down on a seat, and that seat has some give to it. And the last thing I want to do is get like comfortable doing a seated ride and go to like adjust and like have that seat fly off or like flip around or not be stable. So I am looking into a seating situation for my V12. If anybody has any recommendations on how to secure a yoga block or an EXN seat, which is the same kind of concept, like a yoga block type of material, where I can like, how do I, you know, zip tie it down? How do I lock this yoga mat onto the handle in such a way where I'll feel comfortable putting all of my weight on it? If you guys have any tips or any recommendations, please leave it in the comments below so I can start trying to finesse this onto the handle. You know, my next video, I want to talk about gear a little bit. I have like recently sold a piece of body armor that I was really excited to buy, the Airflex Pro. It's a Liat piece. I ended up selling it because I caught a pedal clip the other day, and I thought I bruised my ribs, but at this point I'm pretty sure I cracked them. It's been 3 weeks and the pain has not gotten any better. So I bought quite a bit of gear from Liat. I had a coupon code, so I did a group buy for a few of my friends, and I'm excited to try that gear on and do a review and tell you guys what I like, what I don't like, and why. I have a lot of opinions on riding and riding styles and gear and all of the fun things. But thanks for watching my channel. It's been fun chit-chatting with you guys. If you have any recommendations or any information, just leave it in the comments section below. I'm pretty good about responding to everybody. Thanks for watching my channel, and I'll see you guys out there on the next ride. Thanks. Bye.